What's up guys, today we're going to be going over the Collective Obligation, which is the new raid exotic pulse rifle, which is a 390 RPM void one, and I believe this is just a random drop from the raid. I did hear a few rumors that it's from a quest, but that was from last night while the raid was going on, and I did the raid, slept, and now I'm making the video, so I'm not sure. So if you guys know exactly how this drops, if it's random or if it's potentially tied to a quest also, please let me know. But my friend Flesh from my team got it on our first clear. In this video, we're gonna be going over exactly what it does and a cool combo and build with it. And this thing is kind of crazy on Void with a lot of really good Void builds. So looking at the exotic perk and seeing what it does, Void Leech. This weapon leeches Void debuffs when damaging targets that are suppressed, weakened, or volatile. Once charged, hold reload to swap firing modes. This mode, damage from this weapon applies the same Void debuffs that were leeched. In the secondary perk, this weapon's magazine is automatically reloaded when you gain Devour, a Void Overshield, or become invisible. So we head over into the game and try to see how this works. The first thing I noticed was there's 3 circles on the reticle. I assumed that first was to charge the weapon, so you need 3 hits with one of the debuffs or buffs from Void. So if I go to suppress Carl, as you see, that is not true so far, but it does say Void Leech charge, and it took 3 bursts to do that. And when I convert it and hold reload, as you see, every burst will now suppress Carl, and that will last for 10 seconds. And once those 10 seconds are up, you then have a cooldown for another 10 seconds, so you cannot leech during 10 seconds. So what happens if I weaken Carl? So with the fragment on Void, now every single shot, just like the suppression, is now weakening and applying a debuff to every target I hit, which is pretty crazy that you can just simply apply a debuff to any enemy that you hit with a pulse rifle. That is pretty crazy. And the final one to test is the Volatile rounds, which, as you may have seen in the previous 2 clips, you have to hit the target that has been applied with a debuff or buff to leech it. So simply getting kills with your abilities will not work because you have to hit them with a pulse to leech the Volatile. So it seems like the most efficient way is using Volatile Flow or Volatile rounds in general, which you can do from the new fragment also. And at that point, it seems like you already have Volatile rounds because it is a Void weapon. So it doesn't seem like the best combo ever, because if you're running Volatile Flow or Volatile rounds in general, you already have it on the weapon. And with good builds, you'll have almost 100% uptime on that anyways. As you see, if I go ahead and leech the Volatile rounds, then every shot while the 10 seconds is active will obviously apply Volatile and they will explode. And I try to test to see if it stacks, like can you leech Volatile rounds and have Volatile flow going at the same time, and it did not seem to do anything at all. Did not make it do more damage, did not make it proc more often. So I think with the right build, that part of the weapon is almost kind of pointless. Then if we test the secondary perk of the weapon, where it will refill the magazine. So on Titan, for example, with the Void Overshield, proc that and it instantly refills the magazine. Then every time I refresh the perk or the timer, it will then do it again, and it'll work the same way with Devour and Invisibility. So once again, with the right build, you'll practically never have to reload this weapon. So the question is, can you leech 2 different Void buffs or debuffs at the same time? So for example, with suppression and then also weaken on the same grenade, go ahead and throw it at Carl, which will suppress and weaken him. And as you see, I got Void Leech charge. So if I let Carl become normal again and let the suppression and weaken fall off, then go ahead and hold reload to convert the weapon. As you see, every shot will both suppress and weaken Carl. So you can definitely get multiple of the Void abilities at the same time. And at this point in the video, I'm starting to realize that the circles on the reticle are not how many times you need to hit a target to charge it, but in fact which of the Void ability slash debuffs you have leeched. So the position of the circle, so the top, middle, and bottom one, correlate to one of the abilities. And as you see in this clip, I have all 3 going. Go ahead and convert the weapon, and now every single shot will suppress, weaken, and apply Volatile rounds. So that is pretty cool that you can have a weapon doing all of the major Void abilities at the same time. All you have to do is shoot a target that has been weakened, suppressed, or Volatile rounds on them 3 times each. And as you do so, a circle will light up and let you know that they're ready to go. So the final question is, what is the weaken slash debuff of this weapon? And just like all the void weakened abilities, it's gonna be a 15% debuff and will not stack with anything else in the game, which is not too surprising. And just like the other void debuffs, I imagine it will override divinity, so I would not recommend shooting a boss with this proc if you have a teammate using that. So it seems like the best combo to do on all characters is run suppressor grenade with the echo of undermining for the weaken. That way you get both the suppression and weaken from just a single vein. Then you run energy vampirism from the artifact, which will give you your suppressor grenade back as you hit things with the weapon and your grenade. And we just show off one build I stumbled into once again on Verities on Warlock using the suppressor grenade. Then our aspects are feed the void for devour out of the old gods. Doesn't really matter. Neither of the two other aspects are really important for this build. Then we have the bloom fragment. Then the next one that is important will be the one that will increase the duration of our devour, but really in the second and third slot you can use whatever. Then we have the grenade one. Now looking at our mods, we have elemental ordnance, we also have bountiful wells and elemental armaments, phantom light, and volatile flow. So pretty typical by mods. And the other things that are important are I have double grenade kickstart, and I have the energy vampirism from the artifact like we mentioned before. So now all in all, how this works is you just go into practically anything and throw your grenade, which will weaken and suppress targets. Hitting them will leech those abilities to your exotic weapon. And as you do this, there will be void wells everywhere. Pick those up to get the volatile rounds, which will then leech that into the weapon also. So before you know it, you'll have all three of the void abilities leeched. You go ahead and convert the weapon and just go crazy. And this build is really good for infinite suppressor grenades. I mean, there's times where I throw it and have it back before I even can throw another one. It is pretty crazy. Then with Verity's Brow, they will do double damage. And overall, you're just constantly leeching all three of the abilities. So overall, I think this weapon is extremely good. It pairs perfectly with void builds this season. And the thing about it is I think it will honestly get better in harder content, because if you're playing on light, as you might see in this gameplay, whenever I throw my suppressor grenade, it'll probably kill most of the veins. And for this weapon to leech the abilities, you have to hit them with the weapon itself. It means if the suppressor grenade is killing them, I obviously can't hit them to leech weaken and suppression. But in harder content, you'll go and throw your grenade and they won't die from it, which means you can leech it more efficiently and just proc that perk over and over again. And once I get this weapon on my account, or throughout the next week or two, I might make some more builds with this weapon. But honestly, it will work with a majority of just the void builds in the game, because it can take advantage of a little bit of everything. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for the commentary. The rest of the video will just be some strike gameplay with this build. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.
Signatures in a prison of elders welcomes impetuous warden. Yes.
Don't mind the PA. That's the warden's servitor. Thing shorted its brain when the warden left the prison. It thinks it is the warden. Organic. I've been watching them from out here, but haven't seen it happen.
kill them.